I'm Tom. I'm at Valley Cycle in Winchester, Virginia. I just picked up this brand new Versys X300 last night at about 4:30. Put a couple hundred miles on it. Back this morning to try to tell you a little bit about it, because when I went looking for anything, any information on YouTube, I couldn't find anything. So they're so new in the United States. The only thing that you might find is somebody speaking a foreign language in a 250 version in some faraway place. This is in the good United States of America. So I can't say enough good about this bike. Kawasaki did a great job. They built the bike that I really always wanted. In case anybody wonders, I'm not tall. I'm 5'6". I have a 30-inch inseam. I weigh 150 pounds. The bike has about a 32-inch seat height, but you can tell as I get on it that I can't put my heels down, but if I'm sitting at a light, I certainly can. It's so lightweight, it's sub 400 pounds, that it doesn't matter anyway. Experience-wise, I've been riding for 46 years. I've owned a lot of motorcycles, but more importantly, with this type of motorcycle, I have owned a lot of small displacement bikes, and especially in the past couple of years. I've owned WR250R, I've owned a CRF 250L, I've owned a CBR 250, but the most important is that I've had a Ninja 300, which is the engine that's in this bike and kind of the foundation of it. So I knew the engine was going to be good, and it is. It's geared a little bit differently than the Ninja 300, and I'll tell you about that. The gearbox is the same, the rear sprocket's different, but no complaints about it. It's comfortable, it's upright, it has a spectacular dashboard that has all the information you could possibly want. In fact, a lot of this information you can't find on bikes that are more expensive. Out of the Versys line, to me, this is the most versatile of the Versys. Why do I say that? Well, it's got a 19-inch front wheel, spoke wheels. It really can go anywhere. And in this 200 miles that I've been riding, I have ridden this bike on interstate, split-lane highways, twisties, dirt roads, in town. I've had the bike virtually everywhere. If you're riding in town, if that's what you're shooting to do with this bike, there's two things you really want from a motorcycle. You want it to be nimble, light, and then you want good fueling. This bike has spectacular fueling. You never find any burbles or any kind of stuff just off throttle. So it works really well that way. On the interstate, there's two types of riders that are going to be listening to this. They probably built this bike a little bit towards a beginner, but trust me, you experienced riders, this bike is fantastic. 300 cc's means a lot. The difference between 300 cc's and 250 is virtually everything. So just to give you an example, on the interstate yesterday, young people, don't try this at home, but I was going along at 80 miles an hour in 6th gear, and opened the throttle and pretty easily walked up to 96 miles an hour. So this bike you don't have to worry about it being on the interstate, buzzing along at 70, 75 miles an hour, knowing that you need to pass somebody and worry about getting on the throttle and going. Somebody much heavier than me is not even going to have to downshift. But if you need to drop to 5th, you're going to walk by anything. So from that standpoint, dirt roads, I've ridden a lot of dirt bikes. On the dirt road, just having a 19-inch front wheel, light bike, oh my God, just amazing. And the other, I would say that in between that, the fairing that they built, the size of the gas tank, Kawasaki really built the right motorcycle. So what would be the competition to this bike? What would be the type of thing that you would think about instead? Well, Honda came out with a new 250 Rally that they have that's built off the CRF 250L. Problems with that bike. While it's going to have a fairing on it, it's a 250, number one. And number two, They've raised the gas tank size from 2 to 2.5 gallons, which means it has no range. Those of you that are thinking about the BMW that's coming out with the new 310 GS, which is built off the 310R, again, 2.9 gallon gas tank. It's a thumper, a single cylinder. This has 4.5 gallons. It's just a completely different range that you have. I told them today, like, I'm looking down at the dashboard here, and I've gone 105 miles on this tank of gas, and my, let's see if my range is popping up. Before I pulled in, it was something like 160 miles. It's not showing up right now, but 105 on this. So you're going to be able to take this motorcycle and crack off 250 miles with no problem. I don't care how you ride, you're going to be able to get that out of it. And as soon as this bike gets another couple 300 miles on it, you change your oil, put full syn oil in it, the motor's broken in a little bit, the gas mileage is really going to improve. And I saw that with the Ninja 300. Is there anything that I would change with this bike? Well, there's only 3 things that I can talk about that even make any difference at all. And they're so small that nobody should even think much about it. But here's what I would say. For me, at 5'6", this windshield, when I ride with my Venture helmet that has a duckbill on it, there's a little buffeting. So it would either need to be 1 inch lower or 3 inches higher. And if I had to choose for aftermarket companies or myself, I would choose it to be 3 inches higher. But not more than that, it would get up in the vision. So, but I've ridden and held my hands up here, and there's virtually dead air until you get to about right here. So that would help, but again, no big deal. Pulled my duckbill off, and everything was great. The bike's totally stable. The other thing I might mention is that seats usually come 2 ways. You'll find soft seats and you'll find hard seats. This seat tends to be a little harder. Good and bad of that. I tend to like harder seats because you can move around in them a little bit more. And a lot of times the soft seat, you get planted in there and you can't. So I find the seat to be reasonably comfortable, and I know as it breaks in, it'll be even more. But some people may want to change seats. As you know, it's a new bike. They're going to make tons of different seats for this. So again, a non-issue. The other thing I would say is that when you have this bike in 6th gear, they have geared this bike to do some dirt work and all kinds of versatile types of riding. I could see somebody possibly with more experience only that was doing interstate work wanting to drop the sprocket on this from the 46 down to something in between what the Ninja is. The Ninja has a stock sprocket of 42 in the rear, and this has a 46. Somewhere in between might be a better sprocket size for you. But again, it's just a non-issue type of thing. So those are the only 3 things. Twisties, this bike handles so good, I swear I would do a track day on it. In fact, I may, just for the fun of it. And for the price, we're talking about something that's just over $5,600, plus maybe $350 for some shipping type thing. You have a bike that has tons of range, lightweight, great handling, everything you'd ever want to find on the dashboard. Very useful mirrors. I will say when you set up the mirrors, try to make them straight across, not pulled back. You'll get a little bit more visual out of them. But I don't even see my shoulders, just the tips of my elbows. It comes stock with this very useful tail rack that has places to hook things to, lots of large pipes. If you have carrying a passenger, they have a place to hold on to. And sound-wise, in case you want to hear it, not too loud, not too quiet, and there's not much more that I can say other than, you know, I would suggest that if you live in the area of Winchester, come to Valley Cycle Center. I've been doing business with these people for over 10 years. I've bought multiple bikes from them. Great people. Come and get yourself a good bike.